Welcome back, YouTube. I got a pretty cool pair I just picked up. They're handmade, you could say, from China. They took a few different models from the TY and BY factory and basically dissected them and reproduced them from Vibe Remake Lab. So that's this pair on the right here, and then we have the original TY1 factory on the left. Um, I'm not a fan of quote unquote unauthorized fakes, XYZ, but these I classify differently. I mean, these have been basically put the work in to make it look like the 1985 Air Jordan 1, which we don't see anymore. It's not produced anymore. And it's not like the new retro coming out and they're trying to sell fakes. They're trying to replicate what we originally got back in the early mid 80s. So that's what I think is really cool about this. Is a neat project, and it's not a horrible price point for a new pair, and they are really nice. Definitely the closest to the Jordan 1 that I've seen in person and in hand, and it gives you that really they're not exact obviously, but it gives you the feeling of an original Air Jordan 1 from 1985. So we're going to go over basically some details and comparison of how they actually match up. And just keep in mind also, like I said, it's like the BY and TY factory that they're based off of, but it's not one specific factory. So there's going to be maybe a little differences here and there. So we'll start from the midsole alone, because the midsole I know on the BY factory is a little wider, and I didn't pull out these yet to see how they look to a couple of my BY pairs. But the midsole, it definitely has that mocked look. We'll see when we go side to side. It has a curved shape to the midsole. The toe box looks really good. It's a little more dropped off, I guess, and this is a little more aerodynamic, you could say. But it looks good. I think it really looks good. And you work your way up. I know I got these not really tightly laced, but just I haven't really stuffed my Chicago's. But you could see that the laces aren't tight, but it's about the same width, just minus like that look there. But yeah, these are filled in a little more. The laces are even looser. The tongue tags are really nice. They kind of mocked that original. If you get in close, you can see the stitching. It's kind of got that OG stitch pattern, like this one, the OG here. It's a little wider maybe, or a little more evident. But yeah, these tongues are kind of. It's an early factory, so it's like 2.485, and the padding it doesn't hold up. Some of them, it's the only pair I actually have that's kind of disintegrated. But that's just like the filling on the inside. But the color of red actually looks really good. It feels like leather. They look really good. You see the oxidation. It's pretty close. Height's about the same. Again, they're the way they're stored over the years too. I haven't really stuffed them out, but you can tell the height's about the same. If I had this widened out, it would be about the same height. And when we look at like the heel and the side view, you'll see that it's about the same height and cut. If you had that spread out like this, if I tighten these up, you can kind of see just from looking at that, it looks about the same. And next, we're going to actually look at the heel view. All right, so we have the original TY1 factory here on the left, and we have the Vibe Remake Lab on the right. They're really nice. I mean, and I love the structure, like the Retro 85s, how it's like, these I know they harden over time for sure, like the upper part, but you can feel the structure. It's not going to be like marshmallow, like some of those tumbled leather versions that everybody raves about. Like it's solid leather, like you could hoop in this shoe. It's that nice. The collars are pretty similar shape. Like I said, they use two different factories. They kind of mock the pounded out midsole like you see in the Retro 85. Just the lines are good. The width is good. I can't wait to wear these. I did buy them on eBay at a reduced price after the fact that I actually did order a pair from these guys about a month ago. So I'm really excited. You guys will see which colorway I picked. Something unique, I think. Something that's not attainable. So that's kind of my thought when I did order them. But yeah, I mean, they're pretty spot on, to be honest. Padding's, really good. It's on the inside, you'll see the Vibe Remake Lab. And here's the OG, your traditional made in Korea at the bottom. And yeah, let's go toe to toe next. Everybody wants to see that toe box. All right, we're going toe to toe, and I do want to mention before I go on, both of these are size 10 and a half, and these do run. They're bigger. I mean, it's kind of based on the retro. I held these when I got them. I haven't worn them yet, but I went sole to sole with um, my lost and found, and these at a 10.5 on their scale is it matches right up to an 11. So you might want to go half size down. Again, you can follow up with me. I'm probably going to wear them very shortly after this, but just a little note. And let's hop into the midsole. So you can see it's kind of got that OG style. It's a little more pronounced, you could say, compared to the like I said, they do come differently on the OGs as thickness and texture, but this is the TY1 style. So maybe this is more the BY. I can definitely look and reference back to that. I could have broke out a pair, but we could always drop a photo later. But side panels, I mean, frame for frame, these look awesome. Like I love it's kind of embossed on the logo. You can see there's no trademark. The shape is pretty good. Maybe a little different between where you see here up into the collar. Maybe the cut's just a little different from here to this one. But overall, when you're just nitpicking, it's really close. Sometimes you see, the straps don't look right here. It looks pretty good. The swoosh is larger. It's tilted back like we want to see. Just a really nice representation. As far as toe box, it's pretty close. That OG I think just has it edged out, but it's very what you could say is a nice pair to rock, definitely. So best Jordan 1 retro I've seen. I know a lot of people are against this, but you just gotta tell them how it is. It's like, if somebody's doing amazing work, you got some great customizers out there, and these guys are doing larger production now, and it's kind of getting shot down because they don't like what they're doing or XYZ. There's politics involved. I won't get into that, but this right here, I'm like, this is a great shoe. That's it. Leather feels good. It looks good. I'm sure it's going to feel great on foot. They do have the thicker polyurethane insole. You see, like the toe box, everything looks really nice on this shoe. Construction, quality, good stitching. Nothing really to say this is not good. So it's the nicest Chicago I have outside of my original 1985 pair. All right, so we're looking heel to heel, and you can see it's a tad taller, just very slightly. Again, the BY factory, if you guys know your stuff, the BY factories are a little taller cut, so it could reflect on that. And the BY factory actually has thicker midsoles, but these look pretty. They look pretty balanced. They look pretty level. Side panels, I know I could stuff this, but I just kind of like how that looks, so I didn't really extra fill them out. But yeah, they're pretty straight here. It's a little more. I think that's maybe from where they were stored even. But yeah, collar shape is good. You can see this here. It's a little different cut, slightly, nothing too drastic. The wings placement looks good. Like you got the standard retro one where it's like tilted too much. This looks pretty solid. It's not too far. I feel like sometimes on the retro 85 it's like too far back. I think it's centered. I always look from here to here on the stitching, and it looks pretty good. Size of it, it looks very clean. Nothing to really nitpick on. The swoosh again looks great. So yeah, nice, just a nice looking shoe. Feels good too in hand. So we're gonna look at the soles next. All right, here's a little sole comparison also. And here's the OG on top, and I think these were like maybe tried on at most. The stars are all intact. You see a little flatter on the OG. As you see like on the Jordan 4s, all that, you can kind of see the same thing, and then a little more pronounced on retros. So this tooling definitely might come from the retro 85, I'm not sure. But as you can see here, like 10.5 both, it's definitely larger size scale. So just keep that in mind if you do want to order from these guys. And yeah, it's pretty much similar. Anything outside of that, nothing really too heavily to note. But that definitely shows you guys the size scale. And the width here too, it's a little wider. Again, it could be the BY factory compared to the TY or TY1, because this is TY1 and this might be more the BY. I can definitely look into that. But just wanted to show Chicago's, and very close. It's not really wide. much wider like it was on the Lost and Founds. So it definitely has more OG tooling on this. And we're going to do a quick wrap after. All right, so that's going to do it for this video. And one more time, on our left side, we have the original Air Jordan 1 Chicago TY1 factory in a 10.5. And we have the Vibe Remake Lab here on your right. And that is going to do it. This is an awesome shoe. I'm looking forward to wearing the hell out of these around Chicago. And I hope you guys find this interesting video and how much close that these two pairs really are, from leather thickness to cuts to XYZ. So very, very nice piece of craftsmanship that these guys are cranking out. So don't forget to subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram at OG or Bust, and we'll see you next time.